All right, good evening and happy Friday, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for Grassroots Racing Season 3, Week 2. Tonight we'll be racing at the Richmond Speedway. So it's going to be a short track, 110 laps tonight on what we've seen as a kind of a relatively tricky track. We've heard from some of the drivers in our Discord that, a couple of the turns may have their names posted on them, so we should have some interaction tonight to keep us all entertained. So we have about 3 minutes left to go in the practice session. I'll be moving over to see the end of that practice session here momentarily, and we'll jump into qualifying. But as always, thanks for tuning in. All right, and we are getting into qualifying rounds. I'm going to go ahead and bring us on over into the gameplay tonight and kick us off. Again, if you missed the intro, thanks again for tuning in to watch tonight. This is Grassroots Racing Season 3, Week 2 at Richmond. It is going to be a short track tonight. Up first, we have Dalton's number 73 in his qualifying lap. We're going to jump on over to number 14, Matt Brannon. And we see him coming through. We also have number 29, Scott Drost, joining us tonight. We will have some AI drivers, so this kind of run through is just focusing on our league members. See if we can get Scott over here. We'll check in on. We'll try to filter through a couple of our other racers tonight. We have number 99, Samuel Wilson. Number 10, Colton Keller. Looks like he is off on the side right now. He may jump back in for that qualifying. We're going to try again on number 29. Looks like he may still be waiting for his qualifying lap, Scott. We also have number 5, Scott Wilson, and I apologize, number 29 is Scott Drost. Number 5 is Scott Wilson. Looks like he's coming back into the pits from qualifying. We already checked in on Matt, and we're going to take a quick sneak peek on number 88, David. Looks like he is also done qualifying. So we just have a few more minutes of that. Make sure we have everybody gone through qualifying, and then we will jump into the race tonight.
You know, what's interesting is the knowledge from racing translates really well into filming. When you have one build, super high speed. I mean, it's hard to tell. What's the line? Where do I slow? You know, where am I using? Where am I looking with my eyes? It's all the same stuff, and it's kind of funny because I'm a much better descender than most of my friends. The best because I've done this than most of my friends.
All right. All right, so we see our drivers taking off. We had them lined up, ready to go. We have that pace car leading the pack out tonight. We'll be kicking off for our 110 lap race tonight at Richmond. It is going to be a short track, so some quick turns coming up. Definitely going to take some skill set here for the drivers to keep it under control. Just making sure all of the drivers get lined up. We'll be going green here shortly. We'll see that pace car dip off for us, and then we will be ready to, as they say, race tonight. And that pace car is off. We have a green flag, green flag. So, leading the pack tonight, we have number 99, Samuel Wilson, for our league members. We do have a couple of those AI drivers again, but please do remember, number 99, Samuel, leading the pack tonight. We have number 10, Colton Keller. We see him creeping up behind in that course car. He is going to be very competitive, it looks like, tonight. He's got this short track down. He's ready to go. Right behind number 10, we have number 29, Colton Keller. So both Colton and Scott Gross are relatively new to the league, so we're glad to have them out tonight. So just 5 laps in, looks like we're already under caution. We're going to look back, see what happened here. I will say my camera controls are being a little finicky tonight, so we may not be able to see it. So we're going to try to look back at that previous track. Alright, so it looks like we had a little bit of a bump there. We're going to back it up just a tad. Loading in tonight. It looks like number 14, Matt, may have missed that turn or tried to turn a little too quickly with understeering going on. Slid through the middle and then had a little bit of interaction there. I'm going to go ahead and skip forward to our current positioning. We have a single file line going around the track and the caution. Already in lap 6 of 110 tonight. Hopefully these drivers can kind of get it under control here and get back on track. Good evening, Gypsy Soul Knives. Thanks for joining and tuning in tonight. All right, so we just have one lap to green. We're back in that double file lineup here. With it being such a short track, I think a lot of these drivers are going to get pretty antsy, especially under these cautions, trying to get an edge ahead to get up in front. And we are green. We are back in action. So these drivers are taking off tonight. We still have Scott Drost, number 29, leading the pack. And then we have number 99, Samuel Wilson, not too far behind. As you can see in the short track, these drivers are going fast. They are zooming around this track. We're already in lap 10 of 110, so moving pretty quickly even with that caution already. Take a quick look at a couple of our other drivers tonight, give some love. We're going to see how number 5, Scott Wilson, is doing back there. So we have number 5, Scott, in the Redskins car. Right behind him, we do have number 14, Matt Brannon. Right beside, we have number 73, Dalton. So they're kind of neck and neck, and it's what we saw on the race last week was Matt and Dalton kind of duking it out there. We saw Scott as well. We do have number 88, David Bryant, back here with the new paint job. It's probably one of my favorite for this season. Just looks more like kind of those classic NASCARs that you grew up seeing, maybe. Even though I was not a big fan of NASCAR back in the day, still remember cars. So definitely loving that blue on white paint job. We are going to jump back to Scott is here. So again, we do have 2 Scotts. Last week we saw both Scotts kind of battling it out for that podium position. So will we see that again tonight? We'll have to stay tuned. Alright, so it looks like we are under another caution. We also see some maybe well-timed pit stops. I think they're going to be a little bit early, but we're going to take a quick look back, see what just happened here. Again, we have been having a little bit of trouble with the camera delay, the camera controls tonight, so I'm going to try to check it out. Alright, so it looks like number 4 got a little too involved into the sidewall there, and then went right out. He had some interaction there. We're going to back up just a little bit more here. I think that was a little too early on. I think that was the first incident we saw. So, not exactly sure why we were under caution if it was just one car involved, but we're going to go ahead and skip forward. We're going to wait while we're under that caution. We do see some pit stops here. And it looks like number 14, Matt, is going to be making his way back out onto the track tonight. So with that incident, we did see some positioning changes. So some of the individuals that were kind of towards the back of the pack are now about middle of the pack. So we're going to take a look at number 73, Dalton, see his placement right now. Again, we are still being led out by that pace car at the moment, so single file lineup. But as you can see there, we have number 99, Samuel, number 73, Dalton, number 5, Scott Wilson, and then number 88, David, kind of all holding it down middle of the pack there. Up in front, we do still have Scott Gross, number 29, and Colton Keller, number 10, for our podium position. Right, and our pace car is off. We are going green again. So these drivers are, of course, a little bit antsy trying to get back in there. We are already 23 laps in. Looks like there's some interaction there. We saw some close driving, and we are back under a caution. So we're going to back it up there just a tad. What happened? All right, so it looks like number 5 went a little too high, bumped into another car, and then that spun him out into the wall there. So we are back under caution now in lap 24 of 110 tonight. Okay, we have 1 lap to green. We should be kicking off soon. And our pace car is off, so we're going to be going back green. Hopefully we can get a few more laps going before we enter any other kind of conflict or cautions there. But as you can see, even though the track looks pretty wide, these cars cannot fit 3 wide across without, the potential or the high risk of causing interaction. There we go with 3 wide as everybody tries to gain some positioning and get up in front. But we do see number 29 sneak up front and grab first, although we did just see another just a tad. Alright, so we had some interaction there. It looks like number 99 spun out, number 18, or number 88 and number 14 all kind of crashed into each other. So definitely not a good incident there. A lot going on here. So we're going to back it up just a little bit more, see if we can kind of fine tune, see what happened in that crash. It looks like we had some trouble with AI that caused a little bit of a brake check, and that's what indicated number 88, number 99 to smash into the back, and then that spun out number 14. Then it looks like as they were trying to get back out on the track, number 14 and number 99 had a little bit of interaction. Number 5 is going to go ahead and take a pit stop, and we'll be continuing on under caution for lap 30 of jump back forward to the beginning of the session here, and we should be going off soon. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Jump back in here. We are still under that caution, but we have 1 lap to green, so we should see that pace car diving off here shortly. And our pace car is off. We are back green, going green. Scott Drost and number 10, Colton Keller, zooming through, trying to get some more traction again before anything else occurs. We're about 3 up to 10. A little bit more careful this time and staying too wide into the green, because that definitely caused interactions in the house. We also did get some positioning changes. We see now in 3rd from a league standpoint, we have number 73, Dalton, up and running here. We just hopped into the cab with him for just a little bit, but as you can see, he is right behind number 10, Colton. it up just a tad, see exactly what happened here. Alright, so it looks like he was coming up. A little bit of a break. Dalton wasn't able to counteract it enough because someone was on the high side. And so we are back under caution now. That was one thing that I was kind of looking at when researching this track, per usual, getting prepared for the races, is that it definitely takes a certain skill set and a demanding skill set at that of being able to have those precise braking zones. And I think that's what we saw there. Number 10 maybe did not have that precise braking zone. And so then it set everything in motion where others did not have that same needed braking zone. And that's going to cause long-term a lot of tire wear and just incidents is like we saw tonight. So we are back under single file here with the pace car setting us off. Still up in front, we have number 29, Scott. It looks like the impact did not affect number 10, Colton Keller. And then we have the rest of our drivers. We have number 99, back there with number 73, Dalton, number 14, Matt, number 88, David, and number 5, Scott Wilson. One lap to green before we're heading back out. I believe we are on about lap 40, if I'm counting correctly. It may be 41. But it looks like our pace car is going to be diving off here shortly, and we'll be back in the action. And our pace car is off, so we are going green again. We see everybody starting to gear up, essentially. And we are in lap 40 of 110 tonight. So again, we see number 29, Scott Drost, taking off so he can keep that lead positioning, not too far behind. And Keller. We are going to take a moment here shortly to check in on a couple of our other drivers, but definitely keying in on the front of the pack right at this moment. So right now we are in the passenger seat for number 99, Samuel Wilson. He's holding steady. It looks like he actually might have a last week, if I recall, but it looks like we have TCR Twin City Racing for their team tonight. Right behind him we have number 5, Scott Wilson, 2 laps down. He's got some time to make up, which is going to be difficult on a short track like this. Looks like we are under another caution here. We're going to try to check back in, see exactly what happened. Alright, so it looks like it was an interaction between teammates at that, between number 88 and Dalton. Let's see. Okay, so we see Dalton coming around. He's up high. Number 88 is there. It looks like number 73, Dalton, cut down. 88 was not expecting that path, even though that is the typical apex within the turn. to get back down as he's going through the turn. So we did see that incident there. We are back under caution, and we'll probably take another short commercial break. And our pace car is off. We are going back green. We are ready to go. Green flag, green flag. Everybody accelerating as quickly as possible. Again, number 29, Scott Gross, is still holding down the pack, although I don't know that he's had a pit stop yet. With this track, even though it is a short one, with so many turns, all of the braking, they are going to probably need at least one pit stop throughout this race. And it looks like we had another car pileup here. So we're going to look back, see what happened, try to point out exactly. But definitely a tough go for our drivers tonight with this track. Right, so it looks like we did see number 29 get kind of dethroned, if you will. He was impacted in that incident. Looks like somebody may have bumped in behind him, spun him out completely, and then had a couple of other cars involved. So we have a couple of our AI that are now out. We have several pit stops. This is definitely going to change our positioning and lineup. Whoop whoop, thanks for joining in, Derek. I agree. The Wilson brothers, we have number 99, Sam is in the pits right now. Scott's got some time to make up tonight, so I do think we're only about halfway through the race tonight, though. With these cautions and the opportunity to get some positioning, I think we'll see those Wilson brothers back up at the starting line like we normally do. All right, we have 1 lap to green as the cars are now able to kind of split off into that double file lineup here. Up in front from a league perspective, because again, we do have some AI drivers with us tonight. From a league perspective, we have number 14, Matt Brannon. And we are green as soon as that pace car jumps off. Have Matt Brandon as our first place in from a league perspective. Right behind, or not too far behind, we have number 10, Colton Keller. Actually, we have number 73 and number 10, Colton, kind of battling it out for that next podium positioning from the league. So we see number 73, we saw Peak there. He is staying high, so that's the tactic that he's going with. It does look like we have another caution, so we're going to actually back it up again. See what happens. So it looks like number 99 was trying to go high around that turn. Number 96 just kept going forward, didn't give any room, no space. And so we did have another incident there at the halfway mark of this race tonight. Although under caution, it is going to give these drivers some advantage. They are able to gain some positioning there, so we may see Scott Wilson, number 5, kind of zoom around, trying to get some laps up. We may also see number 88, David, doing the same. We're actually going to key in on number 5. We see he is going steady. Even though we're under that caution, he's going to keep going and get some pace back so he can get back on the lead lap. As we round out the caution here, as we try to get some of these drivers back on track and wait for that pace car to lead off the track and let these drivers let loose back in the race. As always, I want to give a big thank you to those tuning in to watch and support Grassroots Racing. It's always appreciated. We will be back next Friday for week 3, so definitely stay tuned for that. After season 3, we will be taking a short break, but you can catch us in the off season. So I would highly recommend, if you like staying up to date on all things Grassroots Racing, check out the Discord link in the description box below. There's also a way to support the channel, but mainly that Discord link. You do not have to be a racer if you wanted to join. You could just join to stay tuned to all of the updates. Absolutely, Derek. We have seen tonight it is a very difficult track. Right, I hit a little bit of a lag there, so hopefully my video is okay. If I can get somebody to kind of confirm in the chat for me that you can still see everything okay. I do apologize. We're having some technical difficulties. Just one moment. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. Alright, I do apologize about that, but we do have just 48 laps to go. So from a lead perspective, we saw some positioning changes there with number 73, Dalton, claiming that first place spot right now. Right behind him in second, we have number 10, Colton Keller. In third, number 14, Matt Brannon. In fourth and fifth, we have the Wilson brothers, both Samuel and Scott respectively, followed by number 29 Scott and number 88 David. Have one lap to green before we were back in the race. Hopefully we can get a few more laps tonight without any incidences, but as again we have noted both in the chat from the drivers in preparation and just awareness of the track, we knew it was going to be a difficult night for these drivers. We also just came off of a long track, so it's definitely an adjustment. And our pace car is off, so we are going green. We see Dalton zoom through. He's going to try to keep that first place as he rounds that first corner. We see Dalton zoom ahead. He's trying to give some space, but some of these air drivers are a little bit tricky tonight. We see number 10, Colton Keller, jumping in behind him, so trying to gain some of that ground. So we see number 2 and number 73 getting very close, but number 73 is able to sneak out of the way by going high, so he's going to keep that positioning and delay or prevent any kind of incidences for now. Right behind him again we have Colton. We see him creeping up in the back with the tan Forest car. We're going to jump into the cockpit with number 73 and see what this looks like from his end. I think it is also pretty crazy just thinking about it, of just how fast these cars are going and how much skill set it's going to take from these drivers to keep up. check in on a couple of our other drivers. So we do see number 10, Colton Keller, there in the middle. We were able to see him from behind of Dalton, but now we are jumping in with our third place driver at the moment, number 14, Matt Braden, who's trying to keep it steady. We see in the car very micro adjustments, micro movements, but they do mean a lot, especially when driving, and that's something that the iRacing inventors and developers really wanted, is the physics behind it and have it be as close to accurate as possible. Behind Matt, we do have the Wilson brothers, as well as number 29, Scott Drost, and number 88, David. So we're going to take a quick moment with 38 laps left to go. We're going to take a quick moment to check in on all of them as well. Starting with number 5, Scott Wilson. So he is still 1 lap down, but just a moment ago, I think he was about 7 laps down. It looks like it may have been through one of the cautions, and maybe a black flag entering or exiting the pits, because that does happen, as there's generally a minimum or a maximum miles per hour when traveling through them. In short, Scott's done an incredible job of making up up next, we have number 29, Scott. We're going to check how he's doing. There for a while, if you've been staying tuned for most of this live stream, number 29 was holding down. He was in both from or just a league perspective, but he was really holding down that first place positioning. And then it looks like we had some altercation with the AI drivers. Down to 3 laps now. So definitely a lot to come up for. I'm going to check in on number 8. The one we all know and love, number 88, David, from our legacy first season. Now coming back and returning through our second or third. We always love to have David join in with us and put in the action. And again, it looks like my camera selector is playing a little bit with me. There we go. Now we finally were able to switch over to number 88, David. Number 73 was able to sneak up and get that first place positioning, not only for the league but also for the race. So he is up ahead, holding steady with just 31 laps to go. He did take a pit stop earlier, so in theory those tires should be full and have enough fuel, as long as he's using the skill set of the braking. As you can see, we still have number 10, Colton Keller, hanging in back there. You know, I would say he's probably been one of the most consistent, other than his involvement in the incident earlier, probably the most consistent in terms of pace and staying where he needs to be. Again, we do have number 14, Matt Brannon, not too far behind. Similar setup. Last week, I believe it was Matt and Dalton that we saw kind of going head to head. But Matt is still being very, a very keen driver and also involved and competitive. But he's staying true. He's keeping it steady, keeping it between the lines, and zooming through this track. 25 laps to go. Dalton is still holding it down for first place positioning from a league perspective, but it does look like he has some competition here with number 10, Colton, sneaking up on the inside. Dalton was able to punch it through that turn and get some ground back, but definitely going to be a close one. Ooh, and that was some good maneuvering. Dalton was able to cut off number 10 from sneaking up that inside. Can he hold him off? It looks like number 47, even though they are not partners or teammates, number 47 may be helping him out and holding this in his favor, where he can stay ahead for that first place positioning at the moment. Another thing to be mindful of, especially for these drivers, and even in NASCAR non-virtual, I think a lot of people don't take into consideration that when they're practicing, when they're doing any kind of practice runs, for the most part, it's going to be in a solo state. It's not going to be with a bunch of other drivers, or if they're practicing outside of the day, they're likely doing it on their own, and then they have to figure that into the driving day of, which I think is probably a pretty difficult task, because you're almost just thinking and anticipating all of the moves of the other driver rather than actually seeing any kind of evidence there. We are back under caution here, so we'll try to take a look back and see what happened. Alright, so it looks like a little bit of a fender bender between number 29 and number 229, or 299, where 299 had a little bit of ill-timed braking, and number 29 came up behind and was, causing damage or smashed into 229. We did see some positioning changes because it looks like Dalton is taking advantage of this caution and actually went back into the pits. Even though he had an earlier stop, I do think that was probably a very strategic and good move. That way he doesn't have to worry about conserving as much fuel or tires with a fresh set with 19 laps to go. So while he did lose some positioning, I think he definitely gained some potential there. So we are still under caution with 18 laps to go. We see these drivers starting to get a little anxious, a little nervous, as they just want to get back out there and finish the race. And our pace car is off. We are green. We are back in action. 16 laps to go. We see these drivers take off and see who can get some positioning back. If they lost any under that last caution, or if they're going to keep and retain the position. So automatically, we see number 73 Dalton overtake number 14 Matt Brandon, who's holding steady through that. They are kind of neck and neck there, but number 73 looks like he is not giving up. He's going to stay low to try to gain more of that position. And we can see the other drivers are getting some room here. So he's got a clear chance. Although we are back under caution, so we're going to take a look at that. Ooh, with number 10, Colton Keller. So we're going to back that up just a tad. See what happened here. So it looks like a little bit of a case of understeering there where Colton lost control. He was trying to steer, but then he was being pushed back out and lost traction. That also could have been the case of some older tires. So even though there are 13 laps to go, with a new tire setup could definitely play in his favor. We do still have that pace car leading us off under the caution. Right, so we do have the Wilson brothers lined up with David in the back here. Some are on lead laps, some are on different laps, but we do see 3 of our legacy members kind of back to back there. We do also have number 29, Scott Gross. Does look like we lost number 99 Samuel Wilson as well as number 10 Colton Keller tonight. I will say the AI is driving much more aggressively than it typically does. I think maybe that's part of the short track just to give it a more real life experience, but definitely causing a lot of issues as this is probably our 10th caution of the night. Alright, that pace car is off. We are green. We are going green. So with just 9 laps to go, it looks like I saw a little bit in the end, back end there. Someone swung out, hit the sidewall, but it looks like we may be again back under caution here. As expected, we are under caution. Looks like even some interaction as we are under caution and supposed to be in that single file line. Some brake checks here and there. So the AI is definitely being very aggressive tonight. With just 8 laps to go, these drivers are really going to have to hit it. Same thing for Dalton to keep that first place positioning. From a league perspective, really going to have to hit it heavy once we are out from underneath the pace car. Alright, our pace car is off. We are back green with just 5 laps to go. Can these drivers hold out and get that positioning tonight? So we see number 73, Dalton, staying high, trying to stay out of the way, but still maintain speed. He's definitely cutting through and trying to use some of that skill set, but it is going to be a little tough. He's got quite a few of those AI drivers up in front of him. He's going to go low, but we also see a couple of those other cars dip low as well. That was very close, and now we're 3 wide, so Dalton's got to hold it very steady. Oh, and it looks like he was not able to do it. He was bumped out from the AI driver, hitting that back quarter panel and spinning him out as we go into another caution tonight. It was definitely an unfortunate incident as we go into 3 laps left. That now moves number 14, Matt Brannon, into the first place positioning, and number 5, Scott Wilson, in second. And it looks like we will have number 88, David, in third. A lot of our other league members are out for the count. Dalton may be able to rejoin, but we do only have 2 laps to go tonight here at Richmond Raceway. And man, has it been a difficult night for these drivers. Alright, so it looks like we may indeed actually finish out this race under a caution tonight with just 1 lap to go. That is going to put number 14, Matt Brannon, as our winner, followed by number 5, Scott Wilson, and number 3, in third, number 88, David Bryant tonight.
Great race, everybody.
Yeah, good race, guys. Good win. That.
All right. So it does look like they may actually get a restart. I don't see the checkered flag banner here. But I am being told by some of the other members is that we are finished for the race tonight. Again, it was a difficult time for all of our drivers. So we are rounding out. Number 14, Matt Brandon, is our winner in first place tonight. In second place, we have number 5, Scott Wilson. And in third, we have number 88, David Bryant. All of our other members are either behind in the pits or maybe they were out because of pit stops, ran out, crashes, whatever that may be. But as always, we want to give a big thank you to our drivers tonight for joining us. A big thank you to our guests that join in and watch. And as always, a big thank you to our sponsors. All right. So again, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Join the Discord to get into the action. Linked in the description box below. As always, thank you to our sponsors: Gypsy Soul Knives, Nielsen Knives, GC Racing, CXT, and our special sponsor this season, Ride Outdoors. A fun little backstory for Ride Outdoors: started as a fathers and sons traveling to the Tennessee mountains, getting camping and just enjoying the great outdoors and bonding, building strong relationships. So thank you again. Ride Outdoors is sponsored by the Randolphs. Thanks for watching, and we will see you back next week for Grassroots Racing Season 3, Week 3. Good night.